Well, it's really fun to look back at these challenges even, because one thing that we did feel when we got through the challenge was a sense of accomplishment, teamwork, and it built our confidence, that's for sure. So I'm looking forward to our next season, and whatever challenges we face, I think all these lessons we learned, we can propel us into the future. Hello everyone, I hope that you are well. Thank you for those of you who watched our last video. We had a lot of views on that one. We just looked at some progress that we made from the beginning. So that was a really fun project to do and brought some encouragement. And in this video, we're going to look at some of the challenges that we faced, some of the most significant challenges that we faced, just for some context. So I hope you enjoy this video.
Well, we had 4 really stressful new boating experiences. The first one was on the Neuse River. We were heading north to the Chesapeake Bay to bring the boat to our friend's dock, and he was going to help us fix the rigging and do all kinds of great things, helping us on the boat to equip the boat properly so that we can, meet our cruising goals. So we headed out, and we were headed north, and the day was nice. It was a good start.
Well, if you remember, see these waves here? Once we turned around to go back, the waves started hitting us on the beam, and in order to try to mediate that, Vinny was tacking back and forth. That's what got us a little bit too close to the shoaling area. That's where we grounded. You were trying to avoid getting hit on the beam because these waves were really knocking us around when we turned.
So we got to a place on the Neuse River where the Pamlico Sound meets the Neuse River. As you can see on our chart, X marks the spot where I went aground, even though it says there were 15 feet of water. There wasn't. The shoal area had moved, and the mistake I made was I was cruising too close to land. I should have stayed a lot farther away. So here we were, went aground, and the water was hitting us on the beam. And it was kind of scary because, if the waves built, the water could start coming into the boat, swamped completely. So to see the full story, you can just click the link up top there on the right and watch the whole episode. You'll see what happens.
So here was a beautiful anchorage south of Beaufort, South Carolina. And look how peaceful the water is. It was beautiful and quiet and serene. It was lovely.
So we woke up the next morning and there was a tremendously strong several knot current. And so it was time to raise the anchor. But the problem was, as I would turn the boat around to go towards the anchor to make it perpendicular so you can then just haul up the anchor fairly easily, even though I've got a 35 horsepower diesel engine with a lot of torque, there was no ability to really keep that boat in the same direction long enough for Amy to pull up the anchor by hand. And because Amy has not been trained, so to speak, and she's not really fully comfortable yet at the helm, I have to maneuver the boat, and then she would haul up the anchor, which worked great under calm conditions. So eventually I just had Amy come back to the cockpit, and I kind of ran up and pulled the anchor up and was able to bring it in pretty quick.
To watch the full original episode, click on the link above. So the next adventure that was really difficult was we had a long, cold day, and we had one spot available at this fishing pier that they would allow us to dock at, but it was difficult getting in, and I did not have any idea how we could get off of that dock safely without banging our boat or somebody else's boat.
And we weren't going to be able to get any assistance undocking so tight. The reason we had to leave so early, which we did, was because we had to make it through Elliott Cut at slack tide, because there's a real strong current through there, and you need to go through there at slack tide because it's like a sluice. Boats crash into the side of it, and they crash into the bridge sometimes. So we left early. So once we got off the dock using a technique that I learned from Tom Tercey's docking book, which I recommend. We had to travel in the dark for several hours, and that was very difficult because I couldn't see anything, and it was like cruising by instruments only, and I was really happy to see the sunrise. That was a very stressful undocking and traveling for the first time significant distance in the dark.
To see this whole episode, go ahead and click the link.
Another really challenging episode was we left Isle of Palms bright and early and headed towards Winya Bay. It was actually a really nice, calm day. Everything was going good. It was really fun. We saw some beautiful dolphins. It's so fun to see the dolphins. And things were going along just great until all of a sudden I saw coming out from the side of the boat like a hose spraying water.
Okay, water pouring out from the side of a boat is never a really good sign.
Yeah, I thought initially like, oh, a little bilge water getting pumped out of the bilge. So the bilge pump works, that's good. But it just kept going on and on and on. So while I dropped the anchor, Amy went down, opened up the bilge area to take a look. Amy, what did you find?
There was a ton of water filling all the sections of the bilge, and I was wondering, was it the keel bolts because we had grounded earlier?
She found that actually a water exhaust hose connector had broken on the engine, and all of the seawater that came in through the engine to cool the engine was then being pumped down into the boat. So on one hand, it was relief that it wasn't the keel bolts, but boy, that was really a mess. And so we had to go back down there. And as you can see, Amy, mechanical handy Amy. What did you do, Amy, down there?
Connect the water exhaust hose back on again. And it was hot and wet down there, and had to figure out if it was still, as long as that hose wasn't actually leaking for some other reason. It's just that it popped off. So
actually, I think someone had told me that we probably need to have a fabricated fitting, that it shouldn't be connected that way. Anyway, we certainly wouldn't want to have that happen out in the ocean.
To see the full original episode, click on the link above. Well, it's really fun to look back at these challenges even, because one thing that we did feel when we got through the challenge was a sense of accomplishment, teamwork, and it built our confidence, that's for sure. So I'm looking forward to our next season, and whatever challenges we face, I think all these lessons we learned, we can propel us into the future.
So stay tuned, because we're getting this boat back in the water.
Yay! Thank you for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon family. Stay tuned as we get the boat back in the water and continue on our journey.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.